Welcome back, class. The week 3 assignment has a roadblock for us. It's the exercise configuring Azure backups. So as you proceed down and do steps 1, 2, and 3, you may have limited success. But when you get to step 4, you will not have any success at all because these menu options no longer exist in Azure. But I wanted you to enjoy the experience that you're purported to learn here. So if you look further down, they're asking you to consider other options in site recovery. So let's take a look at one other option, and I'll document these steps for you and send that out as well. But how about if we really consider what Azure and site recovery and this whole step about backups is all about? So if you think about, let's pick a VM that you've already created. And then let's go down and look at disaster recovery. And what you should see here should spark your interest around the way we have data centers at our companies and they fail over. And in fact, you can see here, I've identified myself as being on the East Coast. So my VM already shows a location of East Coast. So it's defaulting me to the West Coast and saying that my replication should go to an offsite premise location, which is kind of what you're saying here when you're telling where your machine's located on-premise. So here you're looking at deploying between local and on-premise. But the reality, this is what we do in the real world, is we have data centers at multiple locations, and they're failover for business continuity. So what we're going to do right now is set up replication from your very own VM to an offsite location. So as you click through the tabs, you should be able to do this yourself. And you can say, well, Greg, I don't want it to fail over to the West. You could actually try out failing it over somewhere else. So let's just say I wanted to fail over to Europe, which it looks like it'd be a lot more water to cross there. But you can test out, and you can see that some companies fail over to Texas, for example. So there's like a South Central U.S. failover example. But these are what's available. And notice how the GUI is very dynamic. So I'm going to go back to my Western U.S. failover, and then I'm going to look at the replication that I want to set up. So the basic step is you pick your source region, which then points to the target region, and then the green ones are all the available targets. So this is just the native Azure release here for replication. And then when you go to the advanced settings, here's where you would put in the resource group that it's going to go over to. So I'm already in my virtual machine, so it knows the from, and then I fill in all the to. And I've already pre-done this, but as you go through these steps, it'll literally auto-generate the names for you based upon the virtual machine that you have picked. I'm just going to pick single instance. And you can read more about this. I'll send you the URL where you can read about this full deployment. But this is how simple it is. And you can speak to the same thing that you've already set up, where you set up storage details, how long you want it to be stored. And then you've got your vault. So it'll create a vault in the West, just like you have a vault over here already. And now we're ready to review. So you can see it's going to be from the source to the target. And it literally is going to show you that this virtual machine will be called ASR-ASR on the other side. And then I start the replication. And this will create an automation, which if we had the proper access and the proper subscription, we would be able to start the replication right now. What you'll see in a minute is mine's going to error out because I don't have, I just have a student subscription. So you can see here I can read my error, and it said that I don't have access policies set up correctly. So again, this is an enhancement I wanted you to see, and it helps here with step 6 of this, but please ignore step 4. And as you come down here, consider what I've just given you out here, and a revised way to look at, examine other options and site recovery. Have fun. Let me know if you have questions. See you in class.